In this lesson, we are going to learn about news and updates. First, we will click on the Communications button in the Admin navigation. Now select the News and Updates tab. We can see a list of templates. The templates are the message that goes out to the learner. The distribution list allows you to select which learners receive the message. The Schedule News Items tab is used to schedule the news so you can decide when you want it to first deliver and when you want it to stop delivering. The History tab provides a log of messages that have been sent to students. Before we train you on how to create a news item for students, first we will show you what a news item looks like if you are a student. Let's open a news item by clicking on the template.
A new window will open where you can edit the template. Here we have headline and text fields. Notice under the main text field, the brackets in between first_name. This is what we call placeholder text, and it pulls information dynamically from the LMS. So as a student, when you open this message, you will be addressed by your first name in the message. To see what all the options are on how to personally address a student in these templates, simply select the blue hyperlink that says placeholder text. This will show you what registration fields you have available inside the LMS that you can place inside your messages when you communicate to students. You can also add an attachment. For example, if you would like to add a flyer, you can click on Browse and select the flyer to upload. If you select the required reading box, then the student will be required to have to read this message before they can move forward. The point of doing this is that sometimes you need to get an important message out to the students, and at times they will have numerous unread messages in their inbox. The required reading box, when checked, guarantees that the student will see the message before they can continue inside the LMS. Now we will show you what this message looks like when logged in as a student. When a student gets a new message in the LMS, the news indicator will show them how many new unread messages they have. If there's no indication, that means all the messages have been read. In this case, we made the message mandatory, so there is a box down at the bottom that tells the student that they have required news items which have not been read. Please read them before continuing. Once we have read the message, we can close the box and continue anywhere from there. Now, if the message is not mandatory and you left the required reading box unchecked, it will not pop up at the moment of login for the student. Now we will learn how the message was created for the student. We are now back at the News and Updates tab. Let's select our recent template, double-click on it, and you'll see the Edit News Template window appear. We had to create a headline. Then we created the text. As briefed earlier, the message has placeholder text to address the student by their first name. Then we chose to make this template a required reading by checking the box. So once we have created the template, we have to decide now who's going to read the message. We will do this by creating a distribution list, which is in our next tab over. Distribution lists are very powerful. They let you send messages to groups of people. Let's start by selecting the TraCorp customer group, and this is who we will be sending the template to. Let's see the User Groups tab. We will select all the customers in this group. The next tab over, we see Basic User Info. If you want an email address, or you want to send it to someone who's last logged on in the recent year or 6 months, you can select that date. You can choose if you would like to send to instructors if they're in the group, and you can choose whether or not you want to send this to user group admins. In the Custom User Info tab, you can write custom SQL statements, and we can see the Help and Examples hyperlink to show us how to do that and actually target a group. We will cover the next 4 tabs, including Content, Learning Tracks, Class Sessions, and Webinar Sessions later. But now, make sure to select Save when completed, and everyone who is a customer in this group is going to get a message. So, we have just chosen who will get the message. Now the next thing we need to do is schedule it. In this case, we have picked the news template called A New Course, Achieving Growth is Available. And the distribution list we chose was the TraCorp Customer Distribution List, which selected all 27 customers. We picked an effective date and an expiration date. We also picked a time zone for when we want the news to go live and also when the news ends. And down at the bottom, it will tell you how many individuals will receive the message. All of these learners are going to receive the message when they log on, and you can also see how many of the messages have already been read. Select Save and the window will close. In the first example, we created a news template, and then we created a distribution list to send the template to. Then we scheduled the news item to be sent, and we saw that once the item is read, it shows up in history so you can see who's read the news items. For this example, we're going to change the order up a little bit because we're going to actually send a news item to everyone who hasn't completed a training course that we need them to complete. So the first thing we will do in that case is rather than starting with a news template, we will start by adding a distribution list. In this case, we're not going to pick a user group. We will instead navigate to the Content tab and find the content in which we need everyone to complete. Select the Add Content button. Then we will open up the ACSS folder and select the TCAS Operations course, and click the Use Selected Content button. A drop-down window will follow, with 3 different options to choose from. Everyone who has been assigned the content, everyone who has completed it, and everyone who has not completed it, which is the selection we want to make. Click on that option and select the Add to Distribution List button. Close the selections box, and now as we can see, TCAS Operations is who's going to be seeing this distribution list. Now let's go to the List Info tab and title the list Learners Who Have Not Completed the TCAS Course. Now we will save it. So now we have the contribution list. Next we are going to create a template. So we will select the Add Template button, and we will name the headline, Please complete the TCAS course by August 31st. And in the main text field, if you want to address them by their name, make sure you use the correct SQL text. Then we will add the message, Please complete the TCAS course by August 31st. Your LMS administrator. Now let's save this template. Next, let's schedule this to go out. Let's go to the Schedule News Items tab and select the Add New Schedule button. We will select our news template, distribution list. We will pick the effective date for the 1st of this month at 12 a.m. and the expiration on the 31st at 11:45 p.m. You can see that there are 7 people who will read this message because there's only 7 people who have not yet completed the TCAS course. Once we save this, everyone who has not yet completed the TCAS course will get a message. In this next example, we're going to send a message to everyone who has been assigned a learning track inside the LMS. Once again, what we will do is create a distribution list first. So let's go to the Distribution List tab and select the Add Distribution List button. Now let's go to the Learning Track tab and select the learning track that we want to notify people about. We will select the Management Skills Learning Track. And now we will go to the List Info tab, and then we will label this distribution list as the Management Skills Learning Track. We will know that everyone who has been assigned the Management Skills Learning Track has been added to the distribution list. Click Save to continue. Now we will go to the News Templates and add a new template. In this headline, we will enter in Changes have been made to the Management Skills Learning Track. In the main text field, we will enter in Please note the changes have been made to the Management Skills Learning Track. Select Save to continue. Now let's go to the Schedule News Items tab and add a new schedule. Now we will fill in our info in below fields. At the bottom of this window, you will see again how many people will be receiving this message. Now we will log in as a student and see the learning tracks how the student would see them. Now, as you can see, under News, we have 2 messages that are required reading. This concludes the training on news and updates.